Oh. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We're back from a short 3-week break, preparing for a new season that's just about to hit us. So we have a good show for you tonight. We're going to talk about, continue our discussion about the divisions. And last episode, we ended with the Pacific Division, the top 4 teams. So we're going to look at the bottom 4 teams. There are new rules for the LTIR rules this season, and they're very interesting. So we're going to talk about that as well and let you guys know what those rules are. And then there was some very sad news. It wasn't yesterday; it was the day before, actually on the 5th. Habs legendary goalie Ken Dryden passed away at the age of 78. So we are going to actually lead off with that. And
also Boston Bruins legend.
And listen, he was drafted by the Bruins. Here's an interesting fact before we go on. He was drafted by the Bruins in 1964, I want to say. Now, he didn't hit the NHL till 70, 71 season. He did not know till that midway through his first rookie season, actually, 71, 72, that he was ever drafted by the Boston Bruins. Because in those days, players were not involved. He got drafted, and then a couple days later, he was traded to Montreal, and his agent never told him he was drafted by the Bruins. Don't you think that's funny?
It's actually kind of weird they didn't even know. Communication must have been prehistoric back then.
Well, it was the beginning. It was like early in the draft, so the players weren't involved. So anyway, so we're going to talk for just a few minutes about Ken Dryden and I guess what he meant to you, especially you guys who, you're not Habs fans. Yet he was legendary and he was great. So let's lead off with fellow Montrealer down there, Eric. What did he mean anything to you at all as a hockey fan, I guess?
Well, look, to be honest, I always liked goalies in general. I was always big on goalies, so he was one of the best. At the end of the day, he was in his very short career, everything that he accomplished, and so yeah, as just an amateur, a goalie amateur, I guess you could say. I never played high level, but I like to play goalie, and no, it was, and as a Montrealer too, right? And look, I never saw him play. It was way before my time, obviously, but I actually used to be on well, not TSN 690, but before whatever it was called before 990, and I used to hear him all the time. He was on a few times with Tony Marinaro and guys like that, and very intelligent man, very just well spoken, and everything he accomplished in his career. No, it's a big loss, man, for the hockey community in general.
And a very humble man too. Alex, what's your thoughts?
Well, he had a hell of a career. When you have about 5 times as many wins as losses, your impact is obviously masterful. 6-time champion, was a big part of the Canadiens dynasty in the 70s. And I guess from what I've known, that he was a big advocate for player safety off the ice too.
Yes.
I'm not going to act like I knew him too well, but what I will say is his impact in net minding, both on and off the ice, was definitely impactful. It's a major loss for the hockey community. I wish the best to his family and friends during this difficult time, because obviously he impacted a lot of lives. So, but it's always sad when you lose an icon like that. And it's always great to just take a moment to recollect and remember all the good times players of that magnitude brought to the game, both, as I just stated, on and off the ice. So rest in peace to Ken Dryden. Great career. It sounds like an even better player, and better person. And that's saying something. And God bless him and his family during this difficult time.
Cam.
Yeah, I mean, just piggybacking off everybody else, a guy like Ken Dryden, he was a legendary goaltender. He's in the Hockey Hall of Fame. He's one of the 100 greatest players of all time, as in the
Number
NHL. I
26.
mean, he hasn't. What was that, Rick?
He's number 26, I just said.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just you
Okay.
confused me there for a second. I didn't. I was like, what?
Fault. Sorry.
What's going on? No, it is. It's sad. Like when you lose, like Alex said, when you lose a hockey icon, he's also. I'm not entirely sure if I should, but his family, friends, anyone, it's death is never easy, and just hearing the passing of one of the most prolific goaltenders to ever play the game was difficult. 5 Vezina trophies, 6 Stanley Cups, a Calder, and a Conn Smythe. I mean, the guy was just absolutely phenomenal. Career 2.24 goals against, .922 save percentage, 46 shutouts, 19 assists, which is crazy. But yeah, just an all around, I think, solid player. Never knew him obviously on a personal level, but I can imagine what he advocated for on and off the ice. And so, the hockey world definitely lost one of the greatest, in my opinion. In Dryden. So obviously, what Alex said, our thoughts and prayers go out to the Dryden family and some of his
Yeah,
closest friends.
definitely. So me as a Habs fan, Ken Dryden was the goalie of my childhood. When I first became a Habs fan,
Wasn't that back
was
like in the
season
Paleozoic
after.
era?
What was that?
Wasn't that back in the Paleozoic era?
Yeah, there you go. So it was the season after his when he first came up and played 6 games and won them, and then just won the cup. If it wasn't for him, the Habs were 30 or 40 points behind the Bruins. Bruins were favored. We got them in the first round, and he beat them. Anyway, it's legendary. He was okay. The reason goalies are 6'2" and higher now or taller, you can say that's a large part due to Dryden was 6'4". Most goalies back in the day were small, so that's something he changed. He was a stand-up goalie, but he kind of revolutionized stand-up goaltending in his vision, in his intelligence, his hockey IQ, anticipation, positioning. These were things that goalies back in the day, they relied a lot on their reflexes and reacting and being acrobatic. So Dryden kind of changed the game there. He was probably a better person than he was a hockey player. All the stuff Cam said, 8 seasons. He did all that in 8 seasons. One last thing, because I could go on. A lot of people will say Ken Dryden was as great as he was because of the team in front of him. But that's not exactly true, because the year that he took off, when he didn't like the contract offer from Montreal, so he said, I'm going to go to law school for a year. And he did that, and Montreal wasn't very good. So Ken Dryden was a big part of that success as much as any other player on the team. So Ken Dryden, just a great person, his first season, his roommate on the road was Jean Beliveau in Beliveau's last season. And you can see that there's some stuff that rubbed off from Beliveau to Dryden. So just a great player. And read the game. It's a book he wrote. It's fantastic. It's probably the premier, and I'm not using the right word, hockey book ever written, in my opinion. So check that out, and condolences to his friends and family, and rest in peace, Ken Dryden. Great hockey player.
Yeah, thanks, Rick, for the the tribute to Ken Dryden. Your words, especially with him, he let off as a Habs fan, so he obviously meant a little bit more to you, and you were around in that era. So again, best wish. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family. All right, fans, we're gonna continue on in our discussions with the divisional teams here, and we're gonna go with the bottom half of the Pacific Division here. We're gonna talk about San Jose, Seattle, Anaheim, and Vancouver. it's not going to necessarily be in that order. So we're just going to see where the conversation takes us, and we're going to hope you buckle up and stay along for the ride. For me, I think it's logical to start with San Jose, just because they are going to be an absolute nightmare in the future for other teams to deal with. I think they're taking the approach that Montreal has taken over the last few seasons. I thought their rebuild was going to be longer. Some fortunes have favored them. They've got their goaltender, and I believe, Alex, correct me if I'm wrong, Askarov, correct?
Yes, they have
Yep.
Askarov. Didn't they draft Ravensburgen too, if I remember correctly?
Oh,
I
like might
do not
have,
recall.
or the Islanders did.
I could have sworn it was. I might correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Yeah,
I do
Ravensburger,
not
I'm
recall.
sorry,
Rick,
not Ravensburg. No, Ravensburg.
Yeah. Ravensburger.
why don't you take a moment to just solidify that while we continue on, just to make sure
He
that we
was
have
drafted by the Sharks. Yes, he was a 30th overall pick. I was right at
Awesome.
first.
Okay.
Yeah. So they'll solidify their tending, right? So
They got two
I
good
think
goalie prospects.
Yeah, so I think that's good. They're definitely on the up and up. I don't see too much out of this team. Like they're still not a playoff team, right? They just did acquire Carey Price's contract for, I believe it was a fifth and a player. I think. Well, they got Price and a fifth,
Montreal
right?
sent a fifth with the contract, and we got a defenseman prospect that's for depth at best.
Yeah. So at least I thought it was a good deal. You knew Price's contract was going to move. San Jose had the money to take it on, and I don't foresee them being a playoff team this year.
No.
Unless they really shock you. They did get a little bit better defensively. I still think their forward group could use a smidge more just to help them out in terms of like their age. But I don't know, guys. I think they're right there. I think they're right there. I think they're getting there, and they're getting there pretty quick too. They still got a metric F load of picks this year too, guys. So I'm gonna let Alex go and give his rant on the San Jose Sharks, and we'll spark this conversation based off of all the stuff I just said.
Well, the Sharks, their big moves have been internally. Obviously, as I mentioned, they made a big splash with Ravensburgen in the draft at the 30th overall pick. You had Michael Misa with the second overall pick as well. So they added to that already loaded prospect pool. You have Musty still there. You have Dickinson on the come up, Sam Dickinson. There's a lot to be excited about in San Jose. You have obviously Celebrini and Will Smith as your 1-2 punch right now. I think eventually Will Smith will move over to the wing once Misa is ready. The current defense core is still not good. Timothy Lindgren is currently listed as their top 4 defenseman. I don't know how I feel about that. They added Dmitry Orlov on a short-term deal and Jonathan Klingberg, and just recently added
something on. Sorry, Alex. I just want to add something on Lindgren. He's still only 26. It does take NHL defensemen longer to really especially in the top 4 piece, where they could still grow into that.
It's Lindgren or Liljegren?
Liljegren.
Lilgren.
Oh,
honestly,
Lindgren is Lindgren is someone else. Sorry.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. It's Liljegren or something. It's weirdly pronounced, but yeah, okay. Now I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Timothy Liljegren. I apologize.
The ex-Leaf.
But he's just a fill-in defenseman, I feel like, on the right side at this point. I mean, Orlov is getting up there in age. Klingberg's already about 112 years old. No disrespect to him. But they have some defensive prospects still to come up. That's probably the biggest thing right now is they need more from the D-core. That forward core is going to be terrifying soon. It's going to be a problem. Yeah, Tyler Toffoli there with Macklin Celebrini, who looks like he's going to be a two-way monster for a long time. Alex Wenberg, I think, is picking it up for their bottom 6. So I look at the Sharks. I do think they're going to take a step this year. I don't think they'll be as bad as some of the prior years that they've been in the league. I mean, through this rebuild, but they still have some work to do. But I will say, I don't think they come in last in the Pacific this year.
Yeah.
I think 6th. I think 6th is a good ceiling for them. I don't think higher. I can't see them higher than 6th.
Yeah, me neither, but I have them at 7th. But yeah,
That's where I have them too at 7th. I think Seattle's atrocious. I think they're better than the Kraken right now.
Yeah, I think I actually agree with that. Like 6 at a ceiling for me, 7 is probably where I would put them. Like genuinely, I agree. I don't think they're last place. Eric,
Now-
what do you have to say on the San Jose?
Well, I actually think
Eric, Rick had something.
no, go ahead. It's fine, that Eric.
Well, I actually think San Jose will end up 8th or probably last in the division, only because I think like they're still pretty much they're still rebuilding. That's what they're doing. And if you look at a lot of the contracts that they have, like currently, they have a lot of guys that could like play some decent roles on their team, but they're all UFAs at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see San Jose ship out of, but like Alex mentioned, like Alex Wenberg. Alex Wenberg's on the last year of his contract. Wouldn't be surprised if he can help a team like during the trade deadline.
It's why they got the price contracts.
Exactly,
Here's another one.
Rick. It's gonna pad their cap so that they could get rid of some of these contracts, you know.
Yep.
And like they added a guy like Jeff Skinner, so I guess Skinner didn't like playing in the playoffs last year, so he decided to go sign with San Jose.
He gets
Like,
1 year and now he doesn't want it anymore.
He's like, nah, this is too tough. I think I'm just gonna go
I don't like the pressure.
enjoy
I
my
don't like the
summers
pressure.
and springs and sign with San Jose.
It's funny.
But- No, but yeah, like look, I like a couple of the moves that they made in the offseason. Like they added like a decent veteran in Alex Nedeljkovic to like play either tandem or play behind Askarov, depending on like on how Askarov does.
Mhm.
So it's like a nice little insurance policy. And look, they have a bunch of UFA defensemen like Nick Leddy, like John Klingberg, Mario Ferraro, Liljegren, like we mentioned. Like these are all pieces that they could still move at the deadline, you know? So look, like I said, I think they're still in the rebuilding phase. They're not ready yet. They're not ready to compete. And yeah, no, I think they're gonna finish last in the division.
Really?
Valid perspective. Like it is still a very young team. They still have massive holes, as I mentioned, especially in the decor.
Yeah.
I do think Askarov will find more of a flow this year and steal them a couple more games. But I do say like they got a lot. They still have more growing pains to do before they take a massive step. But I just think Seattle is so bad. Like what they've done with that roster is just a mess. That's the only reason why I have San Jose around like, I think, what did I have? Like 71 points or something like that during our the standings prediction. It was something around that range.
It's 62 last year or something.
It's 62. Yeah, I am around like 70. It's still going to be bad.
That's what I have. I think me too. I have 70 or 73. But I think 70 points. So I think they're going to be better. But I mean, like, how much better can they be, right? They finished with what, 62 last season, right? So,
Mhm.
I mean, what are they going to get to 95? I doubt that, right? So they're not going to be in the playoffs. But, you know, they'll be 8 to 10 points better as these kids get a little more experience. And, you know, that's one of the keys there is the problems, I guess, is they're a very young team. And they got to grow into it, just like we just went through with Montreal and it's still kind of going through, right? So, yeah, I mean, they're going to be improved, but they'll still be, you know, they'll be 7th or 8th. I don't think they'll be higher than that. I'll just say that. Anybody else want to throw? Did you give an opinion, Cam?
Yeah, I mean, no, I just think dead last is just too much for them. I think their goaltending is gonna be good. I think their defense is
better word.
Nedeljkovic is not adding much. I'm sorry.
no, but
he's
you have
not.
Askarov in there who, again, he looks like he's going to
get
be
better.
an NHL starter, and I mean, like, I just don't. I think their defense is good enough to not be in last place, and I think their offense is good enough to not be in last place. I just, and the next team, like, it'll bleed right into it too. I just don't think they're worse than Seattle. I think Seattle's got problems, and I was high on Seattle for quite some time. You know what I mean? I thought that they were eventually going to figure it out, and then they just didn't do it. And they got a new coach and GM, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Who's doing worse?
It's so. Yeah, I don't know. They have almost $5 million in cap. They went and signed Chandler Stevenson, and that contract's really starting to look bad, man. Like, he has a full no move clause for the next few years.
Who called that last year? That crap sandwich.
Yeah, you did. I mean, yeah. Well, initially it didn't look good. Could it turn around? Yeah, Chandler Stevenson's not that bad, but like, no, not right now. It looks really, really bad. They're just old. They're getting older. You know what I mean? And Shane Wright needs to step up. Capo Caco, I mean, I think he's actually gotten better since he got traded from New York. So I think he could be up and coming. But I think the team I see them being like the Pittsburgh Penguins, where they're just going to focus on getting older, not better.
Well, I know this. I think the Stevenson contract's probably going to force them to trade McCann.
Yeah, probably.
Right for the cap.
That's the move.
No, I don't think so. I mean, they're
talking about it. Apparently, they're willing to trade him.
I wouldn't doubt it, but force is not the term I would use.
Well, if they have no movement on Stevenson and they got to move somebody, it looks like it's going to be McCann. Anyway, I'll just say that if they're going to move somebody.
They have Jaden Schwartz coming off the books next year. McCann has another year at $5 million. I don't think they're going to trade him this year. You'll probably get more value from a guy like McCann next year on a final deal where you can actually save, or I'm sorry, not save, but eat some money off the cap. And who was it that Seattle picked this year in the draft?
I don't remember.
I can't remember either. But they also going to make room for the guys that they're drafting.
Jake O'Brien, I think.
Yeah, Jake O'Brien or Roger McQueen. No, it wasn't McQueen.
No, McQueen went to Anaheim.
They had O'Brien.
It was probably O'Brien. I think you're right.
Yeah,
I know it was a center for sure.
It was Jake O'Brien they picked. McQueen went to Anaheim. I just don't understand why they went center when they have this big gaping hole at defense where they have so many guys that are 29 and older when they're not even close to ready to compete.
I thought they were going to go Murtka. I thought they were going to take a swing at Murtka.
I think
would have been the answer.
Can you remind me of Murtka?
Sorry,
go ahead, Rick.
I would just say the answer for Alex is the Ron Francis is kind of like Steve Yzerman, I think.
Oh, he's been a fraud for a while now.
Yeah, so I think that's the answer to why they didn't go defense. Sorry, Cam.
I wonder if they didn't pick Radim Murtka because of some of their other
12th or something like that. No, maybe he was top 10.
Murtka went to Buffalo at 9.
There you go.
Yeah, and I actually thought Buffalo was going to go center. Well, boy, was I wrong on that one. And
they have everything anyway already. That's the thing with Buffalo.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I was surprised because Riker Evans, he's a left shot defenseman. I thought Murtka would have been the perfect complement to him. So I don't know. I mean, like, their defense isn't that old as people think. Like, they have Ryan Lindgren, Riker, who's 27, Josh Murrah is 27, Evans is 23. Like, Vince Dunn is 28, but those are all on the left side. They have only 2 right shot defensemen, and they have Brandon Montour, who's 31, and Adam Larson, who's 32. But Montour's a second pair guy. I don't think he's a top guy. He's not a top pair.
So maybe they'll move McCann to get somebody like that, though. Maybe that's how they'll move McCann.
I mean, maybe. I just don't think. I actually have Seattle at 8. I got to be honest with you. Anyone actually disagree with that?
Yeah, I think Seattle's too good to finish 8.
It's 7 or 8.
Honestly, like, if you look at Seattle's defense, like you were just talking about, like, Vince Dunn is like, okay, maybe he's not like a true number 1, but he's still a really solid point producing defense. Same with Montour. Larson's a really good shutdown defenseman, as is Alexiak plus Lindgren. Like, I think they actually have a decent defense. And yeah, like look, their forwards, they don't have like a star. But again, if Matthew Beniers takes a step, and even if Chandler Stevenson just gives you at least middle six production, Schwartz, like I think there's too much talent on this team to finish last. And honestly, for me, that's an issue for Seattle because I don't know what their plan is. Because if your plan is to just be in the murky middle for like your whole existence, like how do you expect to improve?
You don't.
And that's the issue I have with Seattle, and that's why I think they're too good to finish last. Because if you like we were talking about before with San Jose, like their defense is just a bunch of like spare parts. Like I'm sorry, but like you look at their defense and it's a bunch of spare parts.
Do you
And
think it's a coaching thing with Seattle? With like why like so many people would be against Seattle actually advancing better than 8? I think it's a coaching and a GM thing. I think it's ownership.
I
think
don't.
it's a,
Well, but they
got a
hired
new coach though.
They just retreaded a coach though. Like show some, go younger, go more modern day. I don't understand why they went with a guy like Lane Lambert.
I don't understand why they fired Bilesma after one season. Like,
and then they
yeah,
replaced
give
him
the
with
guy
Lambert.
I never liked him as a coach in general. So like,
I don't care much for Bilesma either. I've always thought he was an overrated coach. But the fact that you don't want to show that level of stability for a head coach giving up after a year, unless if there was something extremely toxic going on that we're not aware of, which I didn't seem like was the situation, then why are you throwing in the towel on the coach after a year when this team just doesn't have enough talent to really make a push? I just didn't get that.
And just going with another retreaded white
hell,
guy
you
coach. I don't
3
know.
years.
Eh? What?
I said you gave Hackstall 3 years.
Oh. Anyway, we'll see
that's that's fair. You give Hackstall a chance like that, and then you fire Bilsma. Like, at least Bilsma had a cup, right? Like
Bilesma.
I don't know.
Well, for him to get fired like that,
he must have done something.
There must have been like the players probably just something that wasn't clicking.
Yeah, but
then they got Mason Marchment, right? They signed Mason Marchment too.
Yeah,
or
did
they
trade for him? They traded for him, no?
Yeah, I don't know. I personally think that Beniers needs to step up. He has to have a good year this year. You have to. I know he's 22, but like you got to take the next step, dude. And like Shane Wright also, like both of them. I think Shane Wright's a little bit younger, right? He's only 21, but still, this is a guy that was touted as the number 1 overall pick. I think the year Slafkovsky went, right?
Yeah.
Rick? So and he fell all the way to 4. So there's got to be a reason why he fell to 4. But also, you don't just get touted as a first overall pick like loosely. I mean, I get it. Other players emerge, but I mean, look at the case of James Higgins. But James Higgins hasn't played an NHL game yet, so we don't know.
He was touted as a number 1 because he was a safe kind of pick. His game was a safe game. So I don't know that he might not be at top like a superstar though.
Plus, I think he had a pretty good second half to the season last year. He really started to take off.
I think he did. He's finding his legs finally in the NHL though. I agree with that.
He needs to show consistency though, for sure. If he can do that now throughout the year, that'll help Seattle for sure. But they have so many young centers now, and it just made the Stevenson contract that much more confusing. You have Beniers, you have Shane Wright, you drafted Berkeley Catton, and you drafted now Jake O'Brien. Well, where are all these guys going to fit?
Stevenson can play on the wing, dude. Like that's not a problem. Like
they do that,
you can never have too many centers.
The other young kids you have coming up. Like
you can never have too many centers. You win Stanley Cups down the middle. Sorry to interrupt you.
But you're going to put one of them at the 4C?
Huh?
You're going to put one of them at the 4C?
You could put one of them as a winger on the third line.
Yeah, you can bump one of these guys to wing.
They'll have to do it. They're going to probably have to move right or something like that. But
I think a lot of teams are going. They like to have 2 centers on a line.
That's what Boston has projected right now.
Yep.
Each line has about 2 centers.
That way, and I think the idea is one guy can take his strong side, the other guy can take his strong side. So you're always got somebody on their strong side taking a face off. That makes sense?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's pretty valid. I don't know. I mean, Alex, you have them in last place. Rick, where do you have them?
Like I said, it's between San Jose and Seattle for 7th and 8th. Which one? I don't know. I think they're going to kind of battle it out.
Any
Yeah.
particular, like, do you have a preference as to which one, like, where they go?
No, I don't. I kind of think though that like San Jose is the team coming up. I think Seattle's struggling to do that. So I don't know.
Little
Yeah.
interesting tidbit about Seattle. Their top point guy last year only put up 61 points. After that, it was Chandler Stevenson, who we crap on at 51.
You crapped on them. He was their second leading scorer.
Although that just shows the situation they're in right now.
Yeah, no, it's true. Well, but teams in that spot, I mean, not too many teams in that spot have a guy that's going to get 70, 80, 90 points.
No, but you'd hope that they already have that guy that could at least get 80. You would hope that at least with Shane Wright or like Matty Beniers, you'd hope that one of those two, or if not them, Capo Caco.
Well, they think they have. I guess they're hoping one of them steps up, like you're saying, right?
They're going to have to, in my opinion. I don't think it's even an option.
Well,
I think,
eventually
especially
they
with
will.
Caco, he's 24. He doesn't have much of an opportunity left, I think, to prove it. He's got to do it.
He's getting near that make or break time.
Like, I'm willing to give Shane Wright a couple more years. I'm willing to give Matty Beniers a couple more years. But once you start
under
hitting 25,
yeah,
that's
when
exactly.
they hit 25, you got to give them a chance.
Yeah, I'm glad we agreed on that. But I don't know. I agree with Eric that their defense, it looks good. But honestly, they've underperformed.
They underperformed.
The whole team has just underperformed.
So look, if they manage to find whatever's missing and they perform at their level, they probably won't finish.
They're missing
on the
Jesus.
Nobody's missing.
That's what they're fucking missing. That team needs.
Nobody's
Jesus,
missing Jesus.
That team needs Joel Quenneville. No, just kidding. Another awesome. Actually, that's another awesome segue because the next team is going to be the Anaheim Ducks.
We don't want to go there.
Before we move on to Anaheim, does anyone actually have any last points on Seattle?
Not really.
No, not really.
No other points. Alex, you looked like you were grabbing the mic.
No,
say it.
I'm ready to roast Anaheim. No, I honestly,
you're gonna roast them. Okay.
I just think Seattle's doing things ass backwards. Really, that's about all I can say about them.
Lead us off into Anaheim. I'm very curious.
So the Ducks, I will give them this. They have a pretty damn good top six now. It looks like they're going in the right direction. Leo Carlsson, Mason McTavish being your two middle guys. Leo Carlson's going to be a stud two-way center in this league for a very long time. You added Chris Kreider this year via trade from the New York Rangers. Troy Terry, who is kind of stagnated a little the last couple of years. He's still good. I'd still say he's got second line potential. But
he may have stagnated because of that. He may have stagnated because of that locker room, which they fixed up.
Cronin doesn't help. So maybe he finds his game again. Vetrano has had some good goal scoring years. There's that guy me and Eric don't like to talk about, Cutter Gauthier, who's now there. We're not going to say much of now.
Get over it.
I'm not getting over it. He actually was going to say something nice about it. He actually had a half-decent rookie year. He found his groove in the second half of the year. He got, about 45 points, give or take, something around that range. I still think he's a fraud. That's besides the point.
You need to let it go.
I'm not.
He's a fraud.
Eric Lindros did the same fucking thing.
No, he didn't. It's not the same thing.
It's not the same at all.
I don't know. I think it's quite similar.
Because he warned the team before the draft. Cutter didn't do that. Now, did he?
Yeah.
That's the massive difference here. Cutter talked about how much he raved he was excited to play here. And just because he didn't get a contract.
But you don't know the other side of the story. Like Cutter is probably private and he doesn't want to be like, oh, well, the Flyers did this.
But then don't bait the media and be like, well, if only you knew, and then you don't say nothing and you shut your mouth.
Then played Boy Who Cried Wolf after the first game. Oh, boy, you guys do the why you bitch fest about it. Just saying. That's
okay, but he's a shitty person, but
the way he handled himself.
Fine, yeah.
But he's not a fraud.
Worse.
It's just
he's
that
the Flyers version of me of Kyrie Irving.
No, but
Listen,
you,
there's plenty of shitty people in the fucking NHL, and
I'm
they're
not
still
saying
good
he's
players.
a shitty
Like,
human being.
Right.
He just handled himself like crap.
you say he's a fraud. He's a fraud as maybe a person, but not as a hockey player. That's all.
No,
I'm
I'm not denying his
Sure.
talent.
yeah,
I'm
that's
not
all.
denying his talent. He's a damn good talent. He's probably going to be a 60, 70 point guy or close to it when he hits his prime. I do think that. I'm just saying the way he handled himself leaving here, I'm not letting that go. At least not now.
Obviously.
I'm waiting for him to actually score 100 points and for Michkov to probably break a leg, and then Alex is gonna
I
curse
will slash your
Gauthier.
tires, Tim.
oh, hear that, fellas? We got it on record.
I will slash your
He's
tires.
gonna buy me tires. Oh
right,
boy.
But
so what I'm hearing, Alex, mysteriously my tires are gonna be slashed tomorrow, right? Is that
I'm
it?
going to blame it on Nordy.
I
Blame
Hey,
it
come on, don't
Nordy.
blame the guy. He ain't here. Listen,
It's all love.
I still don't understand what you're roasting this team for. I think they're doing everything right.
No,
They're
the
making
team
moves to
itself,
be
I'm not
competitive.
roasting. I just want to go after Cutter. I will say, I don't think they maximize.
You're the biggest fucking cock tease in the world, buddy. What the fuck was that? You're like, oh, I'm gonna roast this team. No, I'm gonna roast Cutter Gauthier.
It was more Cutter.
You're a fraud.
But I will say, I do think they are doing it right. They do have a pretty good prospect pool. I don't think they maximize the value of the Trevor Zegras trade. I will definitely say that. Ryan Paling's a nice bottom sixer, but he's more of a high-end fourth liner. So then he had a second and a fourth. And their decor, in my opinion, still has holes. Gudis and Trouba.
Oh, I don't think so.
Enough said about those two. Both physical bodies, but both play on the edge. We both know that. Pavel.
Listen, I'll say this about. Listen, I'm sorry to interrupt. I'll say this about Trouba. Yeah, he aims for the head. Like I like he's known for playing on the edge, right? I agree with that 100%. But is he a top pairing defenseman on most teams? Yeah. Is Radko Gudas?
I don't think
no,
he's that anymore.
He's 31, dude. He's not that bad.
I'm not saying he's a bum. I think he's more of a second pairing guy on a good team now.
I think he can refine that game here. I think under Quenneville, I think he could do it. I think he could be the pair. I think Minchikov is going to be the guy that helps him out significantly.
That's the guy who they need to be booking as a future number one is Minchikov for sure. Like he's not even 22 yet. He's got a lot of progression to go. He had a little bit of a regression last year, but that's expected. Your team's going to get more on you. A little bit of the sophomore slump. I'm not putting much stock on that. The Cronin effect. He's going to be a stud when he hits his prime. He's going to have a much better year this year, I think.
No, dude, he's a defenseman, right, guys? Like I said, defensemen take a while. He's only 21, and he's already showing spurts of where he could be good. But they have Olin Zellweger. Like, he's going to be good, like a good top 4 guy. I'm sorry, Eric. You look like you're itching at the mic to be like,
because you guys are sleeping on Jackson LaCombe, man. This kid's going to be a stud.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Defenseman.
Their left side, stupid good.
Mm-hmm.
Their right side, outside of Trouba and Tristan Luneau, but again, Trouba plays on the edge. Rick's gonna rip my head off if I mention Trouba one more time. But like Tristan Luneau, I think is going to be good. Radko Gudas is a depth guy. I'm sorry, he's not a top 4 guy. He's please. Anyone who wants to justify Radko Gudas to me as a top pairing defenseman, the door is over there. I don't want to hear it. He's ridiculous. Garbage.
Third pair, if you ask me.
Rick, what do you think of Anaheim? We've kind of covered a bit of it. Actually, sorry, Rick. Before you go,
go.
Sorry, Rick.
Okay.
Like their forward core is going to be good, Alex. Too, I agree. Like once they get Mason McTavish figured out, they don't need Zegras. They don't need that trade to work for them. They really don't. They don't care. To them, he was not working out already, and they already had the center talent. They have Leo Carlson, Mason McTavish. They're good. Trust me. I don't think center is their problem. Sorry,
no, not at all. No, I think the top 6 is good. They need to add one more good winger, I think. Is it one more guy on the right wing? I think would do that team wonders. I think Alex Killorn is definitely on the back 9 of his career. he's going to age out by the time this team is ready to compete. So I definitely think they could add another guy on the right, but I do like where the Ducks are going right now. I think they are going to be competing for a playoff spot this year. Will they get in? Time will tell, but they're definitely going to take a step, I think, this year for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
And
too.
thank you, Rick.
Yeah, no. Okay, so the thing I don't like about the Ducks is their coach. Don't think he should be there, but they made a smart move by getting rid of the other coach and fixing up that locker room, which apparently this guy was a screamer and players didn't want to go to work. So I think even though it's Quenneville, who I'll admit was a good coach, I just don't like what he did. But I think this team's going to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll make the playoffs. Wild card, but I think they're going to make that push finally because they've been on the edge of that. You know, it's a team that should have been sort of climbing up, and they haven't. And I believe that's the locker room and the situation that was there. That's done. So this team is going to do something. So I don't know which wild card, 1 or 2, but I think they're going to get a wild card. They've got a good top 6. They've got a good defense, a lot of young players that are coming into their own. This is going to be a good team for a while. I don't like Trouba. I don't like Gudis, but it'll be a tough team to play against. And yeah, I think they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I know. Like Rick, I agree with you 100%. I actually have Anaheim finishing either 3rd or 4th in the division because I don't know what Vancouver and Calgary are going to do this year. And like we said, Seattle and San Jose, I see them as bottom 2. But I honestly, I love what Anaheim did this summer, adding Michael Granlund, adding Chris Kreider. And even though I think they lost the Zegras trade, I think the Flyers ended up getting the better player. Like Ryan Poehling is a really, really good 4th line center in this league. So
Eric,
now, like, sorry,
just to go back, but I don't think they care if they lost that trade.
No, but that's exactly the point I'm trying to make right now.
Oh, sorry.
Is that they solidified their center position? Because if you go now with they're a little young, and if you go Leo Carlson, you go McTavish once they finally get that settled. You have Ryan Strome and you have Ryan Poehling. 1, 2, 3, 4 down the middle.
Solid.
That's solid.
It's solid, yeah.
Solid. Now you add a veteran like Michael Granlund that if one of the young centers does struggle, he can move to the center position, or else you have him on the wing. Great veteran to have on the team.
A little small, but yeah.
Kreider. If you're getting a fully healthy Chris Kreider this year, that's going to be a big
one hell of a
plus for
power
the Ducks.
forward.
Yeah,
Exactly. And they still have Troy Terry, and they have Frank Vetrano. They got guys that can score on the wing, honestly. And like defense, like we were talking about their defense. Like I love Jackson Lacombe as a player. I think he's going to be a stud in this league. And you pair him with a good veteran like Trouba, then you have Minchukov that you could pair with a good veteran like Gudis, and then you figure out that 3rd pair. I think this year Anaheim is really going to be a team to reckon with.
And no one's mentioned Dostal.
Oh yeah,
oh God, yeah.
He's I wanted to wait till Eric was finished.
Good.
But Lucas Dostal, he's got the net to himself now. Joe Gibson's gone. This is his time to shine.
Yeah,
he really showed it last game that he could be a real starter here.
Yes, he can. I like that guy as a goalie. I think he's going to be a good one in this league.
They also have Beckett Seneca up and coming too. Like he's going to be a left wing, I believe.
Left wing. It's Seneca. He's
it's Beckett Seneca.
Seneca. Like New York.
No, it's Seneca.
Isn't it New York? There's a town. It's pronounced the same way.
Yeah, it's Beckett Seneca. I've heard it on a couple podcasts. I thought it was Seneca too, and then I
did a video on him.
So
I did a video on him.
Yeah,
so I know.
Where's the A?
Rick did a video on him. Everyone stop.
It's how it's pronounced. It's not spelt that way, but it's how it's pronounced.
It's French. I don't even know what it is.
And you're going to argue, Alex?
I know I botched names a lot, right? I'm putting that name on protest.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, you down there, you below me. You know how you said they needed a right wing? Guess what Beckett Seneca is?
A right wing.
He's on the. I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm obviously in the come up for sure.
He's gonna be a good player too. He's got good size. He's got skills.
Yeah, but they're not in win now mode. They're not win now mode. I
think they want.
I think Eric is bold to have them at 3rd.
Well, third or fourth.
I think fourth.
Third or fourth.
Yeah, worst case they miss this year, but by a tit hair. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the other teams in the Pacific, and
San Jose,
honestly, they're
Seattle,
just not that
Vancouver,
good.
LA, Calgary, Vegas, Edmonton, Anaheim.
Vancouver's a mess.
I know we're gonna cover the
Calgary,
other
I think,
half
is
of it.
taking a step back.
Vancouver's a mess. Yeah.
Vancouver's a mess.
Vancouver's
Calgary's
a mess.
probably taking a
Listen,
step
I
back.
can't wait till we
Calgary's
get to
on
LA
the
because I'm
edge.
going to cook that team.
Well,
Calgary
hold on. There's
over-
also drama. There's also drama in Calgary too. With I think
Calgary's
it was
on the edge.
Rasmus Anderson.
And
Yeah.
who's backing up Wolf? Because Vladar is gone. So who's their backup there? I don't know. You guys
I don't know.
They
The new
signed
E-bug.
somebody, I forget.
So that could be a problem because Vladar not a bad goalie, and I think if that could be an issue for them.
Yeah.
Look, yeah, and then I mean Edmonton. I think Edmonton might also take a step back. They lost some talent, and I don't. How much do you think they have left to take? I mean, we'll get to that next week. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I could see Anaheim getting fourth. I don't know third. I don't know third, but I could see them fourth.
Because I think LA too takes a step back this year. I think LA is worse this year than they were last year.
Yeah, a lot of
I
people.
think LA
think so, too.
takes a cosmic leap back next year. We'll get to them when we get to them.
Yeah,
but
that's
does
definitely next week
anybody-
when we cover that.
Does
Yeah.
anybody think, just before we go, anybody think Stuart Skinner would be a better goalie if he tied his skates up properly? He plays with loose skates.
Oh yeah.
that would just annoy me.
No, I
Right?
genuinely think anyone here in this podcast would be a better goaltender than Stuart Skinner.
Even me at 62.
That man,
That's funny.
God, sure, when he's on, he's on. But that's literally, and you could say that about anybody when they're on, right? But I don't know, he just could not make or help his team out in the cup final. I get it. Florida was loaded, but I'll get to that next week about him.
Yeah.
But God, what a giant bag of suck! Like people rag
It's a
on
loose
Swayman, but
skates.
shit.
Tie his skates
Yeah,
tighter.
but
He'd be
Swayman
better.
got paid. He
Yeah,
did
he's
not.
also got loose brain cells. Like God.
That's the difference.
Anyway,
Goalies
we're-
are
we're-
different. Goalies are a little different, as they say.
They're psycho.
Anaheim,
But
I got them third in the division personally. I think
Really?
they get
Oh,
third.
man.
I think they make
Yeah, I think
playoffs.
3 or 4.
I think a lot of people. I've seen a lot of guesses, like projections for this, and a lot of people feel Anaheim is going to do well.
I only have them behind.
I think they will do
Vegas
well.
and-
Yeah. Honestly, I think you have Vegas and you have Edmonton at the top of that division, and then everything else is up for grabs.
Yeah.
Probably, you're right. Yeah.
Because, like, honestly,
I think you
like
guys
I
are
said,
generous about Edmonton.
did the Kings get better? I think they got worse. Calgary's most probably taking a step back. Vancouver's a mess. Like, and Anaheim just added. So, like, and
Yeah.
Well, they had the
Anaheim
money to
a
do it. That's
really
the
good
thing.
second half of the season too, eh? Like, they
Actually,
took
you know what?
off
I
in
might
that
even
second
be
half.
bold and say I think it's Vegas and Anaheim as 1-2, and everyone else it's up for grabs. I have a huge struggle thinking of everyone else. Come on, you can't sit there and tell me that Edmonton did not regress. You
Yeah,
can't
okay,
sit there
but
and
wait a
tell me that
second.
every other team.
Wait a second. How
How
much?
Let's take a step back.
Right. How much of a point increase do you think they can get? Right.
That's a bit absurd.
I
So
don't
I'd
know, but
be saying second, I don't know.
Listen,
This is
hear me
almost
out.
as
Hear me
crazy
out.
as saying the Nashville
Hear me out.
Predators are
But
going to
sure-
the Cup next year.
Eric, okay,
Oh,
but hear me out. The entire Edmonton Oilers is Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. They don't have anybody
No,
else.
that far.
Well, Bouchard in the back. on the
Dude,
back
Jazam,
Oh
Bouchard.
wow,
is
they have a
there.
defenseman who can
Ekholm.
barely defend. They
Hyman's
have
there.
Darnell
Ooh,
Nurse,
yeah,
which is
but
the
he
biggest
could
waste
also
of
go
money.
up for 100 points though. So, like,
Maybe, yeah, but okay, so 3 players. But if you look at what Anaheim got, like I don't know, I
really
think
3
Anaheim's
players.
deeper.
Are we ignoring the
Yeah, but-
Nuge? Are we ignoring Hyman? Like
And-
they
and-
have some
And
talent.
experience.
Savoy's coming up. They got some talent.
They've also played a
Experience
lot
and
of,
leadership.
but they've also played a lot of hockey. But
so
like,
did Florida and stop them from winning back-to-back cups.
no, but Florida also what? They got 3rd in the division last year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they were.
So like that's what I'm saying. Like it's not necessarily unreasonable to believe that Edmonton could go 3rd.
Yeah, but that
Like,
division,
it's possible.
yeah,
It's
Atlantic's much
possible.
better than the Pacific.
Yeah, but I do not have Edmonton and by any stretch of the imagination a lock for number 2 at all. Vegas a
well-
lock for number 1 for sure.
I
you're
think
looking
that
at-
I don't necessarily think they're locked for 2. I think they're a lock for the playoffs.
No, for
Yes.
sure.
Like, that's why I'd say, like, for me, Edmonton and Vegas in that division are locks for the playoffs.
Okay,
One or
let me
two?
ask you a question.
Maybe.
To finish second, you're looking at a team that's probably got to get 100 points or a little more,
At
right?
least.
Right?
Probably.
Do you think Anaheim's going to get over 100 points? Make that type of a leap? That's crazy. I don't think so. I think in a couple of seasons, you'll be looking at a Anaheim that could be first or second in that division, but not this year. I think if they make a third or fourth,
That's
That's-
why I think that's it.
that's
They're gonna end up
pretty
with-
amazing for them, my opinion.
Sure. I'm just going to be even bolder and say they have an opportunity to go for 2.
It wouldn't
But-
shock me. It wouldn't shock
That
me.
would shock me if they get
The
past-
opportunity can be there, doesn't mean they're going to rise to it. I'd be very surprised if they rise to that. But I do
I think it'll
if
be a
you're
challenge.
if you're talking 2 seasons or 3 seasons down the road, yeah, it's a different story. But I don't know this season.
Well, look, they got 20 million in cap. They have their first round pick. They have all their rounds picks this year.
Mm.
I would expect them to be very active at the trade deadline.
Yeah, it's
And
going
that's
to be
something that most of these specific teams do not have the capability of doing. That's
Okay.
why I think that they could go that high.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't really thinking about that. So yeah, that's a valid point. That's a valid point you make. So if
Yeah.
they're close to it and a deadline comes and they can really improve their team, then yeah, maybe they can reach for second.
Go for a rental.
Well, that's what
Oh,
it would
for sure.
probably be, right?
Yeah.
And they got the
Go get-
money. The
Nope.
money's not a
Hell.
problem.
I- If a high end team, if a team is willing to sell a high end player to you, sure.
There's always
gotta-
a team at that time of year that's looking to move somebody like that. So,
Trade 2
Is it-
first round picks. Who gives a fuck? You're never going to use them.
I don't know if they're at that point yet, though. But
No, not they're not. I don't think they're at a point where to take a massive swing, but they have the capital to actually do like a mid-range trade and just basically plug a hole if you have to plug a hole.
and they've got the money too to do it during the
They'll
season.
go after a second line winger.
They don't have to wait for trade deadline if they see something, or they got the cap that they can pounce on a deal.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, 8 million of that's probably going to go to McTavish. I won't lie to you. So they realistically have about 12. What I'm thinking.
They started with like 36 million for the season. They're down to that little now.
They're at 20 million right now.
Still,
So there it is. Let's go on to our favorite bumpkins, the Vancouver Canumpkins.
I'm gonna start.
Please do.
Go.
Vancouver season is gonna depend on Demko.
Go ahead. The floor is yours, Captain.
If Demko can stay healthy, they got a shot to make the playoffs. If Demko cannot, they don't. That's what I'm gonna say.
That's terrifying to think about with his knee issues.
Yep.
And they just
I
extended
think
him,
it- I think it also depends on Elias.
It was such
Yeah,
an
at 8
amazing.
million.
I made such an amazing statement. It's like
I'm sorry,
a
5
mic
million.
drop. It just silenced you guys.
No,
Honestly,
sorry, 8
no,
million.
it's not
Sorry,
an
I-
incorrect take, though. It's
No,
the thing with them right now is their goaltend. There's a big, massive question mark at goalie because Demko has had issues staying healthy, and as Cam just mentioned, Elias Pettersson had a major regression last year. He lost his friggin' little argument buddy there in JT Miller, who got shipped out to New York. So no more excuses. He's
Right.
still coming up to pull out the talent where he had 199 points in a 2-season span. So
But it's a new season. New season after all that turmoil, he could turn it around. Like that could happen.
I was surprised that Besser stayed there. Honestly, I thought
Mhm.
Besser was leaving. I was very shocked to see him re-sign in
True.
Vancouver. And I cannot believe how much they bailed out their rivals in the division in Edmonton for the Evander Kane trade. It just felt like a bailout to me.
But they got Evander. They traded for Kane.
Yeah, I'm sure that's another thing. I'm sure that's going to
Yeah.
help that.
I don't remember that actually.
That was a shock.
Yeah, I remember.
No, that was one
now.
of the biggest shocks I had. I was like, I didn't think there was a shot in hell that they were actually going to help out Edmonton. And lo and behold, I'm like, dude, that's a divisional rival. You're going to be fighting for a playoff spot against them, and you're going to give them $5 million in cap, you psychos.
Isn't
I-
Rutherford still there? That's why he's an idiot.
Yeah. Well, here's another thing too. Like I don't know if it also just depends on Demko. They do have Lankinen. He's a serviceable backup.
Serviceable, but I don't know if he's
Yeah.
a starter.
I don't know if he could pay. Yeah, I don't know if he could start, but I mean, he could do enough. He could always go get another goaltender from another one of the teams that have
There's
like
not a lot
45.
out. Did you see the goalies that are available right now? It's garbage.
I know, but I
Right.
can't remember which
Terrible
team has 3.
Reimer, Samsonov, and somebody else. It's garbage.
Okay, but Samsonov, I think on again a serviceable
you
backup.
take it.
Like you could
You
alternate Lankinen and Samsonov, but like honestly, yes, does it depend on Demko's performance? The knee issue does concern me, but I think it also hinders a hell of a lot because like this year, Elias Pettersson's 26. You need to know what you're getting out of him. He's making $11.6 million.
Oh yeah.
And they elected not to trade him before his full NMC went into place. So they have faith in
Oh,
him,
I didn't know
and
that.
they better start hoping that faith was not misplaced.
It's got to pay off this year. He's got to earn that $11 million.
No, look, for me, the Vancouver Canucks, like I see, like the theme that I get from this team is gambling, because man, they're gambling on a lot of guys. Because look, like we said with Thatcher Demko, like you basically traded Arthur Seelaws because you didn't have a spot for him, but now you're gambling that Demko can actually stay healthy, and you extended him.
Yeah, big mistake. That was a huge mistake.
I don't understand why they couldn't just like at the very least. I think I brought this up on another episode. At the very least, you keep Seelovs. You have you ride 3 goalies for at least halfway through the season, and you see what happens.
Yep.
Because the return that they got for Seelovs, you're telling me they couldn't get that like halfway through the season? There's always a team looking for a goalie. So that's
right
one.
now.
And then 2, you're banking also on Elias Pettersson returning to form. But that I could see that happen. That's fine. But now your 2C position, you're hoping that Philip Hedl can stay healthy and produce. Because after that, man, it's really your center position gets very thin after that. And one thing I really did not understand was the Connor Garland extension. Like they gave him 5 years at $6 million, and that only starts after in like next season. Like that for me, like was that really necessary? Like is Connor Garland, who's going to be I think 30 by the time or 31 by the time that contract
and it's
starts?
It's in NMC for most of it. Have you seen it?
Yeah, he has a no move for the first. He has a total no move for the first 3 years.
They need a GM that knows what the fuck they're doing over there.
Hey, he's taking a page out of who's in McCall the old Toronto Maple Leafs GM. Oh god, he's now it's Dubas. Yeah, he gives everybody fucking no movement clause, dude. You ever try to play NHL 25 and start a franchise as the Toronto Maple Leafs? You can't fucking move anybody or trade anybody to go to like reset the system because they all don't want to waive their no movement clauses. So you're stuck with it for 8 years. I avoided that team like the goddamn plague if I ever wanted to restructure it.
They got to do something about no movement clauses. I don't know. I like something to keep the GMs from making these mistakes. Like, I don't know.
And you know what, too, this is a very important year for Vancouver because if they fall flat on their face, like Quinn Hughes has one more year after this one.
Yeah.
Like
he's gone anyway. I think we need to acknowledge this.
Oh, buddy. Like
I think we need to acknowledge it. Quinn Hughes is gone.
He's gone back to he's gonna be in New Jersey, right? I mean, that seems
he's gonna go play with his brothers.
Yeah.
I hope that Quinn does right by the team that drafted him and gets traded appropriately. I hope that he does exactly what Marner did and signed and make sure that he does not leave them high and dry. I think that players should do that. I know I was picking fun at Mitch Marner for like the potential of him not doing that, but ultimately I think you will speak highly. It speaks highly of yourself if you did do something like that to make sure that you also respect that organization and the fan base. Huh?
But he may legitimately be mad. This was a team that was coming up. They had a lot of good pieces and they were going places, and that management ruined it, if you ask me. And he could be mad.
Maybe.
He go, listen, I fuck you guys. We had something going here, and it was
But
wasted.
they're also the reason why you're in the NHL. Could have Quinn Hughes gotten drafted? And yes, absolutely. I think he would have gotten drafted. Yeah,
without a doubt,
100%. I'm not gonna be an asshole or like some delusional dumbass that says like he was not gonna get drafted. But still, that is still the team that drafted you, that saw your talent at that position that you were drafted. There is some respect that I think you should also send back.
I don't disagree, but I'm just saying there might be a reason why he'd be upset with them.
Plus, it felt like these rumors are true that like he really wants to go to New Jersey. Like New Jersey has a lot of good young prospects on defense that if Vancouver, like let's say today or even by Christmas, wants to make like they see like, okay, this thing is going nowhere. And you sit down with Hughes and you're like, listen, you really want to go to New Jersey? Okay, fine. And like they can make a deal with Jersey. Like they have Simone Nemec, they have Seamus Casey. There's some good young defensemen. Sorry?
Well, you definitely know at the least, it's Nemec going back.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's not even close to good
more.
Quinn Hughes. And much more.
Yeah, it's going to be a good haul.
Yeah,
you can start your rebuild on a trade like that, right? If you're thinking, well, we got to rebuild, that's where you started. You get a lot of good pieces back, and he's not going to go on.
He's not going to garner what I think McDavid would garner, but like he would get you a very solid return. I think he would get you Nemec, who is a right shot defenseman. Quinn Hughes is on the left, so you would also need someone to kind of get you on the left. Probably get Jonas Siegenthaler back in return for that as well. And then probably a first-round pick. And I think you're good.
Yeah, you're probably right. Maybe a little more, though. That sounds a little too little for Quinn Hughes to me, but...
Yeah, maybe a smidge more, but you're not going to get higher pick. Like in terms of your maximum capital that you would capitalize on, Siegenthaler, Nemec, and a first-round pick would be the starting discussion points. Would be my.
And when you think about it, if they're going to get talent for talent, then you'd have to trade them for Jack Hughes, and that wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, you're not going to get that now because that defeats the purpose, right?
Right, exactly.
Vancouver's definitely going to be one of the most interesting teams to watch this season because, as you guys just mentioned, if they do fall out early, there's going to be some action being made there for sure. It's going to be interesting between.
Oh yeah. No, they're going to relocate the team. Everyone's moving.
They need a GM. They need a GM who knows what he's doing. Flat out.
They need a practice facility. That's what they need.
Oh, really? Why do you say that?
It was like the big thing with Rick Tocchet was like there's no practice facility in Vancouver.
Oh,
it's like when he got hired by the Flyers, like his first press conference, I swear to God, I think he mentioned the Flyers training facility like 3 times. Like great training facility. They have 3 ice. The facility is great.
Yeah, he was very impressed with it. So yeah, they probably have shitty facilities or none over there. I think they go to Abbotsford. I think.
I don't know.
Where do you guys have Vancouver finishing before we move on to our final topic of the night?
That's a good question.
I got him 5th.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. 5th or 6th. 5th or 6th.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to think they're in that 5th or 6th. Yeah. They're not making the playoffs.
I got them 6th.
I don't see them.
I don't think they're making the playoffs. No.
I think they'll be slightly better than last year, but I still have them missing playoffs.
I honestly think 3 teams from the Pacific are probably going to make it. I think the Central is too damn good.
That's what it's exactly what I was saying too.
So the 3 teams I assume are in no particular order: Vegas, Edmonton, and Anaheim.
Well, if Anaheim's going to make it, and there's only 3 teams, then yeah.
Yeah.
I think Anaheim and LA battle for that 3rd spot.
Yeah. Assuming if it's only 3 teams. Yeah. If it's 4, then I see LA. I don't know. I'm still not sold on Edmonton right now. I'm just not. I think their entire team is McDavid and Draisaitl. You can't convince me otherwise. Nuge is just but a complimentary piece.
I've been there like every year, last 3 years. Edmonton's not, they're gonna fall out, and they don't. So I'm like Alex last year with what was it with Edmonton? I'm like that. Forget it. I'm not buying in this year.
I still
Well, I
blame
am buying
Alex
in.
for their loss in the Stanley Cup final. Every round he rooted against the Edmonton Oilers, and then every round they won. And do you guys remember this? He's just like, nope, sick and tired of rooting against these guys because all they do is just break my heart. So I'm gonna root for Edmonton this time. Fuck yeah! And then what happened? They lost. You're a
Well,
curse.
I did that for the reverse jinx, so that our pick would be a little better.
So maybe
says now.
hold on, Alex. This year, don't root for the Flyers this year. I want to see what happens. Like root for a random team.
But
like
the
just
thing
any
is,
team, Nashville.
if I did that, then it's gonna go even worse because
Yeah, you
it's
can't do
like
that.
the reverse jinx. Because
Yeah.
you know
You
what I'm trying to do.
You
So it
can't.
will
No,
work.
this is a social experiment, you jackass. I want to see.
I
want to see if it
understand
works.
that, but the social experiment is me trying to make my team make the playoffs by not rooting for them.
No,
So
you
Because
can't
what then
by
we're
that
gonna do
happening,
is
it'll be a double negative.
you can't not root for your team. You just
Exactly.
can't not root for them.
hold on. Can we get a drawing board? He's talking math. He's talking double negatives.
You ever see
Jinx
that
of
meme
jinx?
where the
Like we
guy
need the formula.
is like pointing to the board? He's got like the fucking math equation pop over his head, trying to explain everything. That's it. That's this.
Yeah,
right
well, that's
now.
me trying to figure out what the fuck you're going on about right now. But yeah,
It's also the meme of the guy that just goes.
that's good for people who are listening and not watching. He just did
Oh
a
no,
derp
that was
face.
a picture. It's a picture of the guy who puts his
Yep, he's
hands
still
out that
going.
makes like the crunched up face.
There you go. Perfect description.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's go on to our final topic of the night. Unless anyone else has anything to add for Vancouver.
I'm not sure. I'm pretty good. I'm gonna stay with what I got there. So yeah, we'll move on.
All right, so the last topic, the new LTIR rules this season. Rick, why don't you give us a brief overview on that?
All righty. So we've got some new rules. I'm gonna quickly read this, most of it anyway, and it'll explain what's going on. Teams placing a player on LTIR can still increase their salary cap pool by the injured player's cap hit, and you'll get hang on a second. Okay, yeah, so they can still get the relief. However, for players expecting to return during the same season or playoffs, and this is something new because they've added the playoffs part in there. So if you're expected to return, LTIR relief is now limited to the previous season's average league salary. So that they averaged it out last season. The average was $3.817 million. So that means that any player that has a contract over that, and if they're coming back after the injury at any time up to through the playoffs, that's the max. The max they can get is through 3.187. If you're earning $2 million and you're going to get the full $2 million. If you're not coming back at all, and you're the next season, then you'll get the full cap relief. That's what they're saying. So I don't have to read all of that. That's the essential thing is now if you're coming back, you can't get the full cap hit. It closes the loophole that we like to call the Mark Stone loophole, I guess. So it closes that where a player gets injured. He is going to come back for the playoffs. You go out and take his cap hit, get a new guy, and another great player, and then that guy's also there for the playoffs. Well, that's not going to happen because you're limited in how much you can get back. So that really closes it up. There is the other aspect.
Guys, that's just in.
What?
Mark Stone has suffered a fractured toenail. He'll be out the remainder of the season, but he'll be back in time for playoffs.
They only get 3.8.
I know it's bad.
No, I like this that they closed off this loophole. Don't you?
You also got to bring into the other aspect of it too, like with the playoffs. Now every game night roster for the playoffs must be cap compliant. So you can't just stock. Not only did they close it in the regular season, but they also hammered you in the playoffs too. It's like now you can't be over $9 to $12 or $14 million on your game night roster. That was awesome. I am all for that. Like that's amazing. Like good. Now it's based on raw team construction.
Yeah, last season, if you're wondering, in the final, Edmonton, they showed, I don't know if it was a particular game or whatever, but they were basically on a roster about 80 million, and Florida was like at 93, which is over the cap last season. So where Edmonton was compliant and Florida was not, so that no longer will happen.
I will say, I like the fact that they've at least made an attempt to try and fix this. So some of the crap with like Mark Stone or anything Vegas pulled for a while, or Nikita Kucherov, or maybe not to as big of an extent, Matty Tkachuk. This has been an issue.
It's been Tampa, Florida, and Vegas for the past like 3 years. They're the most notorious. They've abused it.
So I'm glad they're at least attempting to
in
fix it.
2015.
Do I think this is perfect? No, I do think there's ways you can potentially make it better. One thing I'm going to be curious about is how this is going to impact the trade deadline, because I wonder if this is going to make teams a little more hesitant to potentially pull the trigger on moves, and if it's going to make it a little more difficult for some of these teams. Not that I want them to go over the cap, but I'm just curious about the potential chain reaction this ends up having. I look at the big picture of this right now, and I see team with the rising cap, it might counteract it a little bit, but I also see teams always try to do little things to make each other better. Do we maybe potentially see more 3-team trades where teams eat like a quarter of the cap, like when the Flyers pulled that trade off with Ivan Provorov, when they involved the Kings on top of Columbus? So
see,
I
don't give a fuck about the trade deadline. I could give a rat's ass.
Why wouldn't you?
If someone's trying to navigate all this money around, I could give a rat's ass, dude. I care about how teams could just give up all this draft capital, a whole bunch of different things with abusing this LTIR pool, and the other teams will just be like, yeah, we'll do that. And then that team can go deep into a playoff run.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying I
just don't care how it impacts the trade deadline, because I don't think it will.
I'm curious to see how it does, though, because that does interest me quite a bit. I want to see if this potentially leads to either a more quiet team deadline or more 3-team trades to help make teams more cap compliant. Because you're going to definitely have to be more creative doing this. But I am happy at the fact that they are doing something to hammer down on this. This was needed to at least some degree. And I think they're going to put some tweaks in it over the years, because I think teams will find more loopholes as the years go on.
We'll close them.
So we'll see. The 75-day rule that was added, I like that. That could help eliminate one of those potential loopholes when teams could just, you're going to send me this bad contracted guy that's hurt, I'll just dump him off to a San Jose or a Chicago or something for a team to help get to the cap floor. So that's good. They kind of put that nitpick in there as well.
It's going to add parity into the league.
Yeah.
It's going to make teams be more competitive. It's going to make, what we talked about earlier about signing these contracts, like these egregious contracts, it's going to make GMs think twice before doing that. It's going to completely change how teams are structured, how teams are built, everything, contracts, everything. I think it's going to be wonderful. There's nothing that I love more than going into a season not knowing who's going to be the top dog.
Also, you can't waste your roster space now.
No.
Like even a little less, because if a guy gets injured and he's going to be back for the playoffs, you're limited now in what you can do. You've got a limited amount of money, and so you got to manage your team a little better. So, and your cap.
Yeah, I know. Like, I agree 100%. Like, I like this rule. Like, it's one of the ones that I don't mind. There's a couple others I do mind, but whatever, it's fine. It's a different story for a different day. But no, like, look, like, it's something that like teams are just abusing. Where it was like honestly, like with Kucherov in Tampa Bay, like a few years back, like it was clearly obvious they were like circumventing the cap. Like, when you hold out a player from getting an operation just so that it can line up for the playoffs, like, come on, like, who you fooling here? Yeah. So I know, like, it's gonna like you guys said, it's gonna bring more parity in the playoffs, because now you like Ricky said, like in Florida had like a $90-something million like team that was in the playoffs. You know, it's like when you have a guy like Brad Marchand on your third line, how can you afford to have a, you know, that's because you know what? Guess what? Ekblad was suspended, so he didn't count. Plus, you had Matthew Tkachuk on LTIR, so
Suspensions
it's like,
do count towards the cap.
sorry?
Suspensions do count against your cap.
No, I don't think so. I don't think it counts against the cap suspensions, does it? I'm not
I believe it
100% sure
does.
that.
Because
I would
I
have.
believe they
Sorry,
held Tom
I
Wilson
have
accountable.
to look into that. But regardless, like, but like, yeah, no, it's something that, like, at the end of the day, like, I don't want to say it's unfair because it was in the rules, I guess. But like, no, it's look, they closed
Cam is
it.
correct,
And
by the way. They do count against the cap.
they do. Okay, my bad. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
For some reason I thought he didn't count. But okay, but anyway, but no, it's look, I think it's only a positive.
I couldn't agree more. I think it's great. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. And I agree. Eric, I think you hit the nail on the head, dude. When you have a guy like Brad Marchand, and like it could be any guy similar to him. Like we're just using Brad Marchand because that's the easiest example. It's the most recent example on your third line. The guy is a 30-goal scorer, even probably at his current age. Like he still scored 23, 24 goals this season coming off of 2 surgeries. He's a 30-goal scorer on a third line. I mean, Christ, man, like you want to talk about elevation. Like, God, arguably probably the only reason why they won the Stanley Cup was that third line. If you look at the points that they produced. Nuts. Bananas. Glad they fixed it. And I bet you, watch, teams that you would immediately think are going to make deep runs are no longer going to be those teams. Like injuries are going to hurt them. Like, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes.
I'm curious to see how teams try to work around this because people are going to find a loophole. But like I said,
of course.
I am glad they made at least an effort to try and fix it.
Yep. It'll be good. Guys, final thoughts before we close out tonight.
I gave all my thoughts. Got no more thoughts.
All right, Rick's got nothing else. Alex, nothing good.
I'm looking forward to hockey starting in the next month. We've been dry for quite some time now.
Next month.
Really was starting to get
2
that
weeks.
feeling. Training camp is starting up. We got preseason action, a week or 2 away? It's coming. 2 weeks away.
Captains,
captains got rookie games this weekend.
Dude, captains practices are back. So that means the teams are starting to come together. So hockey is officially back.
Rookie camp for Habs open on Wednesday, and the rookie showcase, the 4-team tournament there. Everyone's got that going on. That starts Saturday. So
Flyers Rangers rookie game in Allentown is on Saturday too. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. So
we're
welcome back to hockey, fellas. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it. There was a bit of an error in the beginning of the episode where Rick thought that we already covered the Pacific Division. This is actually our first episode covering the Pacific Division. Last episode, we just finished up the Metro Division. So next week, we're going to go over the top teams that finished in the Pacific and whatever else kind of really comes our way, guys. We're going to keep adding some topics here. We'll play a couple games, and we hope you guys play along with us.
We'll be talking about training camps are going to be opening next week. So we're going to be a few days ahead. We'll probably talk about training camps and stuff.
So next week might be a bit of a longer episode, and it might be a little bit more centric around our teams as we pivot towards that. But we also might have a few games in store for you guys. We might even do a live show coming up soon. But until then, we hope you enjoyed this ride with us. You know, it's a long roller coaster, so a lot of loops and do's and I don't know. I'm losing a lot of words here. But anyway, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe on all of our content. You can find us on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Bluesky. Don't forget to visit our website at don'tpuckwithmedia.com for all of our blogs written by the Mr. Gorgeous Eric Filibuster right down there. He's a handsome man. And we actually have one coming out, a wonderful piece by Rick on Ken Dryden. No spoilers. Sorry, guys. You just have to wait for it to release. As soon as he's ready to give it to me, it will go live. And, of course, our YouTube shorts done by Mr. Alex. Don't forget to like all of it. comment, subscribe. We'd love to hear your thoughts on what you think we're doing right, any thoughts that you have on these episodes, and what you think about our predictions. But until next time, guys, hockey season's back. Let's get excited, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Ciao.
Promise you you'll catch me.